everyone's shooting at us, everyone wants to beat us, which makes us raise our game as well.
Objective number one, simple, to win.
Coming up in the program, we'll get you up to date with everything that's happened in the season so far as we look back to round 2 in Sepang. Watch as we show you all the excitement here in Thailand when thousands of fans came to celebrate Children's Day at the track. We'll get the lowdown on this brand new Buriram International Circuit from one of our top drivers as the series makes its debut here. And of course, bring you extended highlights of round 3 of the 2015-16 Asian Le Mans Series with all the sights and sounds to go with it. So sit back, hold tight and join us for more thrilling Asian Le Mans Series action. Before we get into all of the action from Thailand, let's take a quick look back at the last race in Sepang. The ever-expanding Asian Le Mans Series again provided plenty of endurance racing action with the grid increasing in Malaysia, with new entries in the CN category adding a whole division to the race. Shinji Nakano and Thomas Leutwiler continued their perfect start to the season, banking maximum points for the race performance team and winning the race from LMP2 rivals Algarve Pro Racing and Eurasia Motorsport. Eurasia's Richard Bradley had led early on, setting the fastest lap of the race in lap 2. But the Swiss victors finished strongly, winning by 46 seconds after 3 hours of racing. Clearwater Racing clinched a second straight GT class win, crossing in 4th overall ahead of the 2-team AAI GT entries. Avalon Formula edged out Atlantic Racing Team to clinch the CN category. KCMG made it 2 from 2 in the GT AM class, while DC Racing also claimed their second straight victory, beating Team AAI in the LMP3 class, despite both entries forced to spend significant time in the pits. With increasing grid sizes, the Asian Le Mans Series is going from strength to strength, setting up things nicely for a brand new challenge as the championship makes its debut in Thailand. The ultra-modern Chang International Circuit features 12 turns over 4.5 kilometres, with a long home straight a standout feature. It's also Thailand's first ever FIA Grade 1 circuit. So let's check some of the key points through the eyes of Le Mans 24 Hours LMP2 race winner, Richard Bradley.
So here we are at the first corner of the Chang International Circuit. After starting the race, we approach this as extremely high speed, and we carry a lot of speed on this very, very quick apex using all the ripple strip, which is extremely important as it sets us up for this, the longest straight on the circuit into the best overtaking point in turn 3. And here we are at turn 3 at the end of the very long back straight. As you can see, the circuit widens up a lot here, which makes it one of the best overtaking points of the circuit. And here we are at turn 4, the fastest corner on the circuit, where we arrive at an approach speed of approximately 265 kilometers an hour. When we're in qualifying with low fuel and new tyres, we're going to try and take this corner at full throttle to get a good exit for the straight into turn 5 and the beginning of the very technical section to end the lap. Here we are at turn 9, right in the heart of this very tricky technical section of the Buriram circuit. What I mean by technical is it's very strategic as there's corner after corner, whereas turn 4 and the high-speed corners, they're completely gung-ho and very gutsy corners. As you can see, turn 8 is only a very short distance before this corner, and then we have a 180-degree bend to deal with before we go through the S's in turn 11 and 12. This then takes us back towards the start-finish straight for another lap of this fantastic Buriram circuit.
Welcome to the Buriram International Circuit in Thailand for the third round of the 2015-2016 Asia Le Mans Series in Thailand. It is a bright and sunshiny day as the drivers and teams prepare for the 3 hours of Thailand up ahead next. On pole position are newcomers in the LMP2 category, Jagunya Ayam with Eurasia. The first of the LMP3 cars are DC Racing in 5th place, while Clearwater Racing leads the GT class and they'll start 6th. The other LMP3 car is sandwiched between two GT cars in 11th on the grid, while the CN category is led by Atlantic Racing Team in 14th, while the GT AM car starts in 16th place. Newcomers Jagunya Ayam with Eurasia had control of the field at the start of the race after Sean Gallaile's superb performance in qualifying had put the car on pole, and it was a dream start for Eurasia as Nick De Bruin moved the team's other entry up from 4th on the grid into 2nd shortly after the lights went green, ahead of Algarve Pro Racing and Race Performance teams. Meanwhile, the Atlantic Racing team in the CN prototype class was looking to improve on its 2nd place finish in Sepang. With 1 lap in the books, Gallile led from De Bruin and Race Performance lead driver Oliver Webb in 3rd, with the British driver sitting in for Shinji Nakano as the Swiss-based outfit set about looking for a hat-trick of wins to start the season. And while he got past Michael Moonman on the first lap, he was also passed by De Bruin, maintaining 3rd place early in the race. Slovakian Miro Konopka had some good battles in the heart of the GT category, with another strong field, making it a tough task for the ARC Bratislava outfit to claim what they hoped would be their first podium of the season. There was drama on lap 4 when Shinyo Sano stalled his Wolf Racing car between turns 6 and 7, an incident that brought out the safety car and eliminated all leads and bunched the field back up. The field was back to racing just 1 lap later, with Gallile still leading, even though his early gains had been wiped out as De Bruin and Webb closed right up. Gallile had to work hard to maintain his lead, which he managed to do going into turn 1. However, it wasn't for long. An unfortunate puncture towards the end of lap 8 forced the Indonesian leader into the pits, though it was a bold decision taken on the fly to refuel while changing the tyres, and that would later have a huge bearing on the outcome of the race. So a bit of bad luck early on for the Jagunya Ayam team, but nonetheless they were still fortunate to get the car back to the pits. Sean rejoined almost a full lap down on the leaders, with Dutchman De Bruin now the race leader. With the rest of the pack settled back into their race pace, Ho Ping Tung was looking for a 3rd straight category win alongside teammate David Chang. Tung had made a brief stop in the pits during the safety car laps, but was back out and firing again, moving his Ligia up through the field. It was all going well for the DC Racing team, however the Atlantic Racing team suffered the first of several technical issues that forced their car into the pits.
Well, it looks like we had a little electric glitch in the car. Maybe the fuel pump, maybe it's a short circuit somewhere. But we changed to another fuel pump, so hopefully now it's okay.
Clearwater Racing was leading the GT class with a dozen laps in the books, with Keita Sawa in 4th overall, having started from 6th on the grid. But the best action was happening a little further behind, where an eager Gallile was charging through the field, moving up on average 1 place per lap. And here Sean makes a pass on car number 89, Team AAI. With battles going on all over the place, Shinyo Sano was back on track but several laps down and facing an uphill climb. With the track being comparatively short in length, it wasn't long before the leaders were starting to lap some of the backmarkers. But that wasn't causing a problem for race leader Nick De Bruin.
Come away with me, come, let's go away to be on a new adventure for 2. We can fly across the ocean or take the train together. I don't care as long as it's beside you.
Miro Konopka was still behind the wheel of ARC Bratislava's Audi R8 in the first of 2 stints he would put in during the afternoon. Though he was finding the going tough, having started down in 13th before slipping a position further back since the start. At the other end of the field, Oliver Webb had Race Performance in 2nd place, less than 10 seconds off the lead. In the GT category, young Belgian driver Alessio Piccarello had taken over from Jeffrey Lee in Absolute Racing's Audi R8 and was picking up the pace. Nick De Bruin still led the field going into the first round of pit stops, but the number 9 Jagunya Ayam with Eurasia team had hauled itself back into contention. This means race leader Nick De Bruin had his work cut out for him as he makes his way past car number 91, Team AAI, in the GT category. Oliver Webb had pitted a lap earlier but remained in the car due to race performance's two-driver strategy. Then soon went past fellow Swiss outfit Spirit of Race, the car number 38. Malaysia's Nexus Infinity was leading the GT division by the time Dominic Ang handed over to Joshua Hunt. Ang had started third in class and 8th on the grid overall. But an early move on Jeffrey Lee and another one on Kita Sawa on lap 23 saw him shoot to the top of the class and leave the team in good position to claim its first podium of the season. He later said that the heat was starting to affect his tyres, with oversteering becoming an issue, but admitted to enjoying the battle not just with the other GT cars, but with all the other prototype entries as well, which is the very essence of Le Mans racing. Indonesian driver Sean Galal was still tearing around in the red and yellow Oreca in his bid to get back to the front. Meanwhile, in the number 1 car, 17-year-old driver Thomas Leroy was even younger than Galal and had taken over from Ho Ping Tung, continuing DC Racing's quest for a third straight win in the LMP3 category. Meanwhile, Webb found himself in the lead for the first time in the race for a period of 10 laps as the race approached the midway point, after Galal made another pit stop. With so many changes in the overall lead, round 3 of the Asia Le Mans series was quickly shaping up to be the most exciting race of the season so far. And although Webb was making his series debut, his race performance team was quickly finding the competition more challenging after experiencing wins in the opening 2 races of the season. Here we see Oliver Webb lining up car number 99 Eurasia Motorsports 4-track position this is, and he makes the pass cleanly. Further back, Sean Galal kept coming and was ramping up the pressure. Meanwhile, the number 27 Nexus Infinity Ferrari was back in the lead in the GT class after the opening round of pit stops, ahead of the 2 Team AAI GT entries from Taiwan. The battle for the lead was heating up between the Jagunya Ayam with Eurasia team and Race Performance. The gap between the front 2 was no more than a whisker, with fans and crew alike glued to the screen as the tension built. Hong Kong's William Locke tried a move on one of the GT cars with Eurasia Motorsports sitting in third, but he couldn't do it before the door was closed on him. Without a doubt, one of the most thrilling moments of the race came on lap 51, after Galal had clawed away at Webb's slender lead bit by bit, and the two were locked together for a number of laps. As ever, traffic can come into play when 5 different categories of cars are racing on track at the same time, and Galal thought he saw an opportunity on lap 51 as Webb went past the back marker on the inside before running wider than he would have liked. The teenager nearly got his nose in front before Webb recovered and moved over to keep his position. But moments later, 2 more GT cars came into range and provided the perfect distraction to allow Galal to make his move. This time, he was able to pull it off and the youngster did not look back. But although it was undoubtedly a significant moment in the race, it wasn't to be the final lead change, with more than an hour and a half's racing still to come. Let's find out a little bit more about the Buriram International Circuit.
The great features of this circuit is from the main grandstand you can see the whole of the circuit. The circuit is 4.5 kilometres in length. The spectators can see every part of the circuit. They can see all of the action. Whether there's been an accident in one corner, there's exciting overtaking happening in another corner, they can see all of the action. This is quite a rare thing from a lot of circuits around the world.
Buriram racetrack was an obvious choice for the Asian Le Mans. Brand new, they opened in October 2014. It's a fantastic place, and on the map, in Southeast Asia, it's one of the most beautiful circuits nowadays.
We have a reference tyre for Asian Le Mans, which is S9L, same for all the tracks. There is a significant difference of temperature between the right and the left tyres, which of course oblige us to align on the hotter tyres.
It was a surprise, especially our cars. As you know, they have a lot of downforce. And this track to really work our cars. And this is most beautiful to see.
From day one that we were talking to Asian Le Mans, we were very, very excited about bringing the series here, and very proud to be able to say, you know, we're part of a season of the great Le Mans group.
We're very proud to be here for the third round of the Asian Le Mans Series in Thailand, to partner the series and to support our total network in Thailand.
All the teams are very happy with the facilities and the people here. The ambiance is very good, and we are just enjoying it a lot. That's probably one of the reasons Thailand is called the land of smiles.
As the race moved into the second half, the Buriram International Circuit was living up to expectations, with battles continuing throughout a strong field. Behind the LMP2 cars at the front came DC Racing's LMP3 model, which was so far having the best of its sole remaining class rival, Team AAI's 89 Ades, after the team's sister entry, the number 88, hadn't been able to line up for the race following a crash in qualifying the day before. The Team AAI Hub Auto Partnership GT entry was making steady progress, following a podium finish in Fuji and a more disappointing 6th in Sepang in round 2. The team's quicker driver, Shinya Hasokawa, had taken over from Maurice Chen and had the team in third in the category at this point in the race, behind Nexus Infinity and Team AAI's number 91 BMW. William Locke was showing more improvement for Eurasia in the number 99 LMP2 car, but disaster can lurk around every turn in endurance racing. This time, the team lost 2 laps when one of the rear lights failed and they were forced to make repairs. But with star driver Richard Bradley still to come, a podium finish was still within reach. Alessio Piccarello was putting in an impressive performance for the Absolute Racing team. And after the team had dropped to 8th overall at the start, he had the car up in 4th in the category and was well within reach of his rivals. What's more, his lap times were comparable with his vastly more experienced teammate Adli Fong, showing how much he had improved in just a short time with the team. We're riding on board with Shinya Hasokawa in car number 92. And AAI have the most number of entries in the Asian Le Mans series. In fact, here we see 3 of their entries on track 2 in the GT category, and sandwiched in between them is their LMP3 car. The team's Ades was still about 2 laps down on DC Racing at this point, with experienced Japanese driver Masataga Yanigada behind the wheel. The Jagonia Ayam with Eurasia entry now had Antonio Giovinazzi on board, and given that the Italian is the European F3 race winner, it didn't bode well for his rivals, who were already half a minute or more behind him when he entered the race. As the race moved into the business end of proceedings, the teams knew they had to make their moves before it was too late. And although the primary goal of endurance racing is to make it across the finish line, the skids and swerves in evidence, plus all the closely fought battles, showed just how hard they were pushing. Just past the 2-hour mark, Dennis Lian's Avalon Formula car broke an axle in spectacular style, spinning him out of the race. Keep your eye on the left of screen as Richard Bradley goes past the stranded car. It's an unfortunate end for Dennis Lian and the Avalon Formula, who were leading the CN category at the time of the incident. No surprises then to see the yellow flags come out as Lian exits the car safely and the safety car comes back out on track for several laps. Back to the action as we enter the last hour and join DC Racing in the pits. They've had a strong race, even spending some time up in 3rd place overall, but it hasn't all been going well for the team, as Thomas Laroche shares with us.
Thomas, you guys were having problems with 2nd gear. How's it panning out?
It's very complicated. 3rd gear every corner. I think we lose 2 seconds by lap, but it's a problem, and we can't prepare.
Thomas Leroy handed over to team boss David Chang, who took over for the final stint to see if he could get the car to the checkered flag. It was hard to tell who would come out on top in the GT category, as we see a heated battle for second place between car number 5, 91 and car number 92, as they all try to fight their way for a spot on the podium. We ride on board now with car number 7 ARC Bratislava, and the drivers have to keep their concentration and take notice of the LMP2 car in his rear view camera. He's got to make space on track for the faster car to make its way past him. Endurance racing is all about keeping your concentration and keeping your stamina all the way to the finish line. And we can see just how quickly Richard Bradley manages to pull away. Team AI's LMP3 driver Sakaguchi Ryohei got the heart rate pumping with a little spin towards the end of the race, shrinking his team's small hopes of catching DC Racing still further. But the Japanese driver managed to recover nicely and would go on to claim second in the category. Antonio Giovinazzi was continuing the good work of his young teammate in the lead car. And in fact, he set the fastest lap of the race on lap 92 with a 1 minute 27.6 second lap time. Not even the weather was going to stop the Italian, with clear skies throughout in Buriram, although rain did start to fall just as the checkered flag appeared. But this nice move to pass Hiroki Yoshimoto was a perfect example of the talent that the 22-year-old Italian has. Algarve Pro Racing had a stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which knocked their chances of a win. But Jamie Winslow's final leg saw them cross the line second overall. Once again, KCMG put a strong performance in the GTM category. Meanwhile, Jaguar I Am With Eurasia continued their march to the checkered flag, with Giovinazzi would finish the race with a 30-second cushion ahead of Jamie Winslow from Algarve Pro Racing, who managed to nip past Nicholas Litweiler of Race Performance in the closing laps to take second place by less than 2 seconds. But with 10 minutes to go, Giovinazzi was called into the pits for a quick splash and dash.
I mean, it'll be our first win in Asia Le Mans, so it'll be fantastic. It's not over yet, but for us, this car is a car, our European Le Mans car, so we know the car very well. We've got 2 very good drivers, very good support from Jaguar I Am, so it's all good. But it's not over till it's over, so I won't be really smiling until the checkered flag has come out and we passed it.
Meanwhile, leading the LMP3 category is car number 1 DC Racing, as Antonio Giovinazzi is back on track and eager to make up for the lost time in the pits. And as you can see, he is pushing all the way to the checkered flag as he wants to ensure victory for the Jaguar I Am With Eurasia team on their Asia Le Mans Series debut race here in Thailand. And in the GT category, car number 27 Nexus Infinity are driving towards their race win. After 3 hours of racing, car number 9 Jaguar I Am With Eurasia crosses the finish line to win the Asia Le Mans Series 3 hours of Thailand race. Confirmation here of the results as Algarve Pro Racing takes second spot, with Race Performance finishing in third. DC Racing wins the LMP3 category, with Nexus Infinity taking victory in the GT class, ahead of Absolute Racing, who finished 7th overall. KCMG won the GTM category, finishing 12th overall, and unfortunately both the CN cars did not finish the race. The LMP2 championship has been thrown wide open by Jaguar I Am With Eurasia's win here in Thailand. With neither CN category car finishing the race, their championship will be decided at the last round, as will the GT category. And all this makes for a fantastic final round of the Asia Le Mans Series, which heads to the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia.
We had a little bit unlucky in the start of the race, where Sean did a really good job from P-Last to again P1, and then I just saved the result.
We got a puncture right after the safety car, so put us 1 lap down, and then we managed to climb back up to first position, and then when I handed the car to him, we just stayed there. So yeah, it's an amazing result. Thank you to the team, to the sponsors, everyone who brought us here.
We were great in qualifying, you know, and it just proved to us that where we were going with the race car really worked, and it was just awesome. Last stint when we got that safety car, I thought, oh, this is going to be a real test of where we're at, you know, and we still had that speed. So awesome job.
Obviously, we struggled a little bit without second gear. Some of the low-speed corners was hard to exit, but besides that, we just bring the car home and seal up this championship.